Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is OK Manuel, and in this very video I'll be showing you how to link CSS font files into your HTML project. I'll be showing you 3 key ways you can use to link font to display font on your web project. So let's get started. The first of them, let me just create my file. Just open your VS Code or whatever code editor you are using. I create a new file here and I'm calling it index.html. Yes, and because of that, I want to assume that you know this shortcut, and I'll just use this to generate the HTML boilerplate. You can get a video on that on my channel. I've created a video on what this means and how to use it. Then the next thing is that I want us to write a text writing a text here. So I'll say h1, this is my text, and for testing purpose, I'll need to live serve this. You can use any HTML live server that you know or you browse directly. Let me just show you one of these methods I may not have been using before. I'll click Reveal in File Explorer and double click it right here. So I have, this is my text, and if I check the inspection, this is how I browse as a developer, and this is how I should browse. And I use this icon to click here and check what exactly is happening to this display block font size, but I'm sure this is not what I want. I want to know where exactly it's getting this font file from. Actually, this is a default font from my browser, not from my VS Code. It's from my browser, and it is Times New Roman, but I want to override that with my CSS. So I'll show you different ways to achieve the same result. First of all, let me zoom this so that I can see clearly, and then I'd like to link a CSS file. I'll say link CSS. This is a shortcut for many people that you don't know. If you are using VS Code, just type link CSS and then it gives me this. Wow. Then I click plus here, style.css, and instead of taking too much time to write my CSS code, I just want to go directly into what I want to do. Now, option 1, you already have the font on your system or your device, your Windows device, your Linux, whatever machine you are using. You already have the font installed, and then you can say all. That is for selector, all, and then you say font-family. Then let me think of one font that you might not really have on your device. I will say Cinzel decorative. Yes, this is just for test. And comma, if this is not available, I want to use cursive family. I have done an extensive tutorial on font family, and you can get that video. This is majorly for font linking. So if I come here and refresh, I can have this, and I have right here font family Cinzel decorative, which means if this Cinzel decorative is not available, it will use a cursive font. You can see right here that the font's changed because it cannot find this. However, this is cool, but if I push this to production, which means that if it is hosted online, there is every tendency that it is this cursive text that is going to show instead of my Cinzel decorative, because I can predict when I installed Sincere Decorative on my device, but I cannot tell if Sincere Decorative is on my hosting site pre-installed on my hosting device. So the best way to handle that is to use the import feature by Google Font. But before we do that, I want us to quickly take this option 2. Option 2, I'll be downloading a font online, so we can just go ahead and say Sincere Decorative, or let me use another font now. Let's say DM Sans for web. You need to put this DM Sans web font or for web, and then I click. Can be Google Font, can be any platform. While I don't want to use Google Font right now, I don't want to use Google Font. Yeah, I have a reason so that they can get this clearly. Let me go here, font source. Now I can install, download, but then I'll click this download. As I'm waiting for it to download, yes, my download grabber grabbed this. Yes, it should be downloaded now. So I'll go to my file explorer and click on downloads and sort by date. Okay, this is it right here. And if I sort by date again, okay, this is it right here. Let me just move it to where I would see it clearly. Moving to downloads, and here is it. I can click extract all. Extract. Cool. I have TTF and I have my web font. However, this web font is just a lot for me to use. I cannot use all of this right now, but for training purpose, I would like to copy this. I'll copy this. Let me just rename it to something simple, DM-Sans, and copy it. I'll go to my project folder, and in order to do that, I can easily grab this and drag it to my VS Code. Current project, grab it here. Do you want to copy DM-Sans? I want to copy. Now DM-Sans is here, but I actually want it to be inside my CSS / or asset. This is a good way to structure your file. Asset / CSS. I do have my CSS before. Let me just create asset / font. And then asset / CSS / yeah, we can just create style.css. Yes, that's the strategy I just showed you right now, how to create a folder and a file immediately. Replace. Now I have this structure for my project, and this is the font. Now I'll go to my CSS file, which has been automatically linked to this. So I'll comment this out and say I will define my font face. Font, let me clean this. So do this. Option 2, you need to define your font face. Option 2, you need to define your font face. At font face, and then I'll type font family. I want to use a font that I just downloaded now. We'll call it DM Sans. And then I'll put a comma, sans serif, it doesn't exist. And then I want to write my URL, the address. And now for font face to work, we need to specify the source where it is going to find the font that we specified here. So I will specify the source, and it's going to look for the URL, and I'll have this. Now I need to specify the address of where the font is, but I already have the font. I can follow my autocomplete. This is just 2 steps backward. Get out of this CSS folder and move into assets. Then from assets, it looks for font, then it looks for DM Sans, then it looks for TTF, but I don't want to use TTF files so that the work can be fine. But then for example's sake, I can see TTF, and I have this DM Sans Latin normal format, true type, because it specified the format. This is TTF, this true type font. We can also use our web font. Now once you have done this, we need to specify that the old file should use this. Then I create star, which gives the body everything. Now because I named the font DM-Sans here, it's showing DM-Sans here. So font family DM-Sans, sans serif. Now I need to go to my HTML and can get rid of these italics. It was a mistake. I refresh, and this is it. You can see the difference, and if I click on it, you can see the font family here is DM Sans. If DM Sans is not working, then give me sans serif. So if I uncheck it, then it's going south. Now that is how to link the CSS font that you have installed by using the font face rule. Now let me show you the third method. The third method, option 3. The third method is the easiest of them, and it's by importing your font from Google. Now we need to work and go to font.google.com and pick the font that we want. Now I would like to pick a font that I've not used at all before, so let me use a font that will look different. Now picking a font, I need to pick from a decorative family so that we can have a difference. Yes. So let me pick this decorative font so that I can look different from what we have experienced before. Click this one right here, and it's called Playwright Español Decorativa. So I need to just click Get Font, and I'll click Get Embed Code. Click Get Embed Code, and there are 2 ways to do this. If I'm using the web, say I'm doing web. If you are using Android, you are doing Flutter, iOS. For now I'm doing web. There are 2 ways to even do this web. We have the link and we have import. To link, all I need to do is copy this first and go to my index.html. I'll come to my head tags here. and paste this, and then I will need to move to this CSS. This is not important to do per se, but I will still copy it so that we can have it clear, so that you have the two. Then paste this, and actually that's why I said this is not important. This is coming from Google as a definition. We can just create a class that we can recall, but then I'll explain. So playwright, instead of all of this, let me clear this and say dot playwright. And font family should use this: font optical sizing auto. Font weight, let's say we do not need a default weight, but you can put in 700, 900 as a default weight. I don't need this. And font size, font star, I think normal is fine. We don't need this too, so you can get rid of it. But then this is not going to affect the way if we choose to neglect this. For instance, let me come here and comment out everything in this option 3 and use our font here and say font family, and then I'm calling playwright es deco. And if this does not happen, let's fall back to recursive family. Now I need to go back to my work and hit refresh. Now this is showing me that exact family, playwright. You see that we did not need the CSS that we copied from Google. All we needed was this HTML, this head tag, this link tag in the head. But then where does this come in and how do we use it? For instance, I may choose to have a class in a text, let's say paragraph, and I give this a class, and I call this the class of the name that we'll call here dot playwright. So I'll say playwright, and then here I would like to use font family. Let me change the font family, the general font family, to another thing. Let's say the font family was not even explicitly defined, which means it should give me Times New Roman like this. It should give me a default browser text. But then I'll come here and say p class playwright and say this should load the playwright function. And if I hit refresh right here, so I need to go back and comment my playwright. You can see what we have right here, that is loading the normal HTML, and I just need to unwrap this. Uncomment this and refresh my browser. Then it shows me this should load in the loaded form. So this is how to add a custom CSS font or using Google. Also, we can try the other method, which is using the import. This import works with the CSS, which means that all we need to do is copy this code, import this link, and we then have access to the font. I hope I've been able to give you an extensive tutorial on how to use font in your project. So do not rely on the font that are on your PC. Make sure that if you are using a custom font, have the font folder in your project, or you connect the font from online source like Google so that your project can go fine. I have some other tutorials that can help you become a better web developer starting from scratch, HTML. Do well to subscribe, add a comment where you're watching this video from, and if you've learned anything, and I will see you in the next video. See ya.